Well, welcome to this special edition of the Pulse of Spokane, and I have the pleasure of introducing an intern from GU. That's Gonzaga University, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. And Summer Sanders, Summer Ann Sanders,
Yes.
right? The full name, Ann with an E. Yeah,
What's your middle name, Kent?
Kent. It is.
Your middle name?
Is Kent.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, my first name is John. See, she learned something. You learned something too on this. Okay, thanks for no, I'm kidding. Summer, this is your first time in front of the camera for us, isn't it? So
It
you're
is,
joining
yeah.
me to ask some questions and so forth. Tell me, what's it like at GU? Are you having some fun?
I was, yeah, until we went
Was,
online, yeah.
And then you brought this COVID-19 thing on, right? It's your fault?
Yes, all my fault,
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
But it's been all right. I have all my housemates with me, so
Okay, good.
we're just gonna push through online classes, I think.
Right, right. Is that what's going to happen this fall, you think?
It's hybrid or online, or
Oh,
a
boy.
mix of both.
Oh,
yeah.
boy. Oh, boy. So you're marketing. This is your senior year coming up. Okay, so marketing and what else?
I'm not marketing. I'm political science.
Political science. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, one is same as the other,
Yeah,
right?
I guess I'm just good at marketing, huh?
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are good at marketing. You're doing some of our marketing.
Yeah.
So, yes. Well, we're going to be talking with a guest I've known for, a couple years, I think, and so forth, about her new old business. And we'll be back right after this message.
At Wendell Nissan, you are respected, you are valued, and we have an experience tailored for your lifestyle. WendellNissan.com allows you to research and find the perfect vehicle and financing information prior to arriving on our lot. Whether it's the 2020 Rogue Sport, Rogue, or another Nissan model, our trained staff will help you find the perfect fit. For your tailored experience, come see us at Wendell at the Y or WendellNissan.com.
When we opened the doors the first day, we started with a counter full of maybe a dozen selections of a dozen cupcakes. We sold out, and it just went crazy from there. I'm Sally. I run Sweet Frostings Blissful Bake Shop downtown Spokane. It's almost 40 years of baking for me. We now do between 1,000 and 2,000 cupcakes a day. The variety of cupcakes is kind of like the variety of services that STCU provides for us. Since we opened this site in 2014, they've been our banker. We are producing for 4 stores right here, so we have 35 to 40 employees at any one time. There's an STCU close to virtually every one of my stores, and every time I get a new employee, that's the first place we send them. STCU is such a good fit. It's just so convenient for me to have them as neighbors. They are always so pleasant and always so helpful, and we have a lot of little needs. They've always been behind me 100%, so it's a good thing to have that partnership.
Here at River Ridge Hardware, we carry a great selection of Krylon brand spray paints, Color Master, general purpose, the Rust Protector for taking care of metal, Fusion for taking care of plastics, and the Super Max that can take care of it all.
Weather in the inland Northwest can wear you down. And if your gutters are in poor condition or you do not have gutters, you could suffer damage that could cost a fortune to fix. Rainman Seamless Rain Gutters has almost 30 years of professional experience in serving the inland Northwest region and strives to ensure customer service that is second to none, from the time you call to the end of the project.
Well, Jennifer, I was going to introduce you as an old friend, but you have to be careful when you say that these days. That I don't mean it that way. I've known you for
always
several
call me
years.
old friend,
Okay.
please.
Yeah, I think I first met you with Stephanie.
That would
The
make
two of
sense.
you are like great pals.
I'm surprised you gave us airtime together.
I am too. And you held your own one time when you sat in for her too. You did a good job.
It was fun.
Yeah, good
was
for
fun.
you. Good for you. Jennifer Evans with Encore Events. Now, you've had in and out career since I met you the first time. You've also gotten married.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've had some life changes, right?
Never a dull moment.
No. Tell me
Yes.
about it. What's going on? What are you doing now?
I spend a lot of time at home. So for somebody who loves live events and is married to a musician and an auctioneer, it's been a little interesting. However, you blend. We are the modern day Brady Bunch. So
Yeah.
we both bring 3 kids. We've had a full house. It's never boring, but lots and lots of adjustments.
So you're waiting to get out again, aren't you?
Yes, I miss it so much. I'm saying I'm loving being here.
You know Kate Hudson from this Visit Spokane.
Yes.
Yes. And she comes in, and the joke has been the last, 4 months, 5 months we've been doing all of this, that she gets an opportunity to put makeup on and a dress.
Truly, I was telling Summer, my children walked upstairs today and went, "Whoa!" And
Yeah.
I looked at them like, "What are you talking? Oh, dress."
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Got it.
It is strange, isn't it? It
is.
really is. So, yeah, go ahead. I'll let you ask before I take over everything, okay?
So the event industry, I'm sure given what's going on, things have been a little hard the past couple months. Could you talk a little bit about what you've been doing to, if you're doing virtual events, if you've had to cancel events, things like that?
Yeah, we were, of course, first thing shut down, and I have no doubt we'll be the last one to open back
Yeah.
up. So it's really a testament to event planners and their ability to be flexible. I think one of my favorite things has been how open all of our industry leaders have been, bringing us all together and sharing tools and tips, how they got through 9/11 and the recession in 2008 and what we're doing now together. So it's been a lot of, I'm trying not to say it. I know for those of you who watch Friends, the word pivot is funny and
couch?
enough.
Yeah.
Stop it. So I'm not saying pivot anymore, but we're really having to look at things differently. And so, of course, I haven't done a live event since February.
Yeah.
I was actually in Las Vegas with my whole industry group. That was when they shut down Vegas the day after I left.
Oh, wow.
So it's been an interesting shift, but we're doing it. I had a client in New Jersey for a May 28th event, and he said, "I just don't want to lose my audience. I want to keep people networking and figuring
Yes.
out how to get their message out. I'm not canceling on them." He actually contracted COVID and put me in the driver's seat and said, "You have to make this happen." And even though his energy was low, he would check in when he could. And on May 28th, we put together a procurement fair, bringing together via virtual exhibit booths and speakers a whole entire procurement fair connecting buyers to people who are buying their products in state, federal, and local government. It was challenging, but we did it. In 1 month, we learned how to shift that whole piece upside down. And since then, we've done some more. We've had very successful fundraising events online. And we're currently, now that people are accepting that I'm not just Debbie Downer, that it's time to pivot. So our fall events are canceling. In fact, I brought on an old new client again yesterday who went, "Okay, you got us to a certain point live, but we need you. We have to do this different, and we can't do it ourselves anymore." So-
Because they were all probably hoping that things would be better by fall.
Everybody.
And we know there's still going to be that lag time and
Yeah.
probably 2021 before we see
Absolutely.
much going on. Where did you get, I'm curious, where did you get all this information for doing live events online and some of the fundraisers? Other people around the country sharing what's going on here in the Spokane area and so forth?
Yeah, those first probably 6 weeks were a complete blur during the shutdown. It was constant input, emotion, but I was trying to learn new things. And I was reaching out to some people that I know, like, and trust. And one woman by the name of Mary Kravitz, who helps people find and generate leads for sales. She's been a speaker at NABO, which I've been a part of for a while. And she said, I've had a few event planners reach out to me. Can I connect you? And some of those were just great conversations. Some of those led to some great tools. And once I started learning about new tools outside of what I had found, that's where things really exploded for me. And then, diving into every single webinar from every single company I possibly could. My email inbox is full. I'm finally to a point where I'm starting to shut some of that stuff off. But it was a constant learning and researching and really listening to the people that I trust most, who are leaders in the event planning industry. And then lots of practice. There are days where I feel more like tech support than my usual event planning.
Yeah.
But it's a whole new skill set.
Because
that
you
will be awesome.
really knew the event planning
Oh,
here
yeah.
in town. You were the person. And then all of a sudden, the rug is pulled out. You got to learn how to do that
Yeah.
with a whole new skill set.
Completely.
Yeah.
Totally and completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it.
Do you have virtual events planned for the holiday season yet? Are you starting to think about those?
We should be. I have one as far out as April of next year, but not too much during the holidays. And part of that is because I just do corporate events. And so that's a fairly quiet time for us. I usually do events up until about Thanksgiving, and then there's a break. Unless people are really brave and know their audience very well. But right now, I'm pretty booked through October.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you find that the turnout for virtual events is as you'd hope?
That's a really great question. It can be. I will say that it takes a ton of effort. So anybody listening, it takes so much more effort than it ever did before.
Yeah.
We did a nonprofit event for a local group. They are a countercultural, faith-based mission about sexual integrity. It's not something that, everybody goes, oh, I want to go check that out.
Right.
So they already know that what their work is an uphill battle, sometimes getting the message out. So we tracked everything data-wise with his event, and he was so open, their executive director, to the advice of myself, their auctioneer, Rose Bax with Elite Auctions, and we tracked it all. They did everything by the book. But to give you an example, if data helps, it took over 300 invitations. They followed up every single one of those invitations with a phone call.
Wow.
Wow.
That led to 95 registrations for a free event. A lot of those were couples, so about 180. It's pretty similar, lower, but similar to what they've done in the past. We started getting information that even though people are registering, they're not coming.
Yeah.
So on the day of the event, every one of those 95 people got either a call or a text from the executive director.
Yeah.
We're coming. 45 were online the night of the event. Granted, double, that would be 90, but still, that's a fraction of what they've ever had.
Yeah.
So
How do they do in fundraising?
I'm so proud of them. They, in a lot of ways, did better than they have in the past. Silent auctions across the board. Everybody's
Wow.
shopping online, so that's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
Silent auctions are doing well. Their live auction did as good, if not better, than it has in the past. They walked away that night over 6 figures, which was where we wanted to get them a couple years ago. We just
Right.
weren't sure
When things were
we could maintain
normal,
it.
right?
Yeah, they did amazing. So they knew their audience. We kept them engaged in our chat. That night, the auctioneer was amazing. Their executive director's entertaining. It was a lot of fun, and they did it. So
Good.
I'm really
good.
proud of them.
I'm hearing in the community that a lot of the nonprofits are actually finding some success online now because they're forced to do that basically, or virtual or whatever you want to call it, and so forth. Are you hearing that and seeing that too, beyond this one?
Yeah, it's exactly what I'm seeing. And again, it takes a lot of work. I
Yeah.
think that I'm seeing this in a lot of realms. Education, events where people think, oh, it must be so much easier. And I'll admit, at first glance, one of the contractors that I work with, she said, wow, virtual events are going to be so much easier.
Right.
Once you start getting into the details, they're just not. Anytime you're shifting, it's a lot more effort. So the ones who are putting in the effort, I'm seeing a really great success. You have to care. You have to care more than you've ever cared about your message and how you're communicating
Right.
it and how you're talking to people.
I've seen, because these companies have talked about it, that the Avistas, that the Spokane Teachers Credit Union, STCU, Numerica, and others who have often been the backbone of writing a $5,000 or $10,000 support the event so that most of the money can go, to the cause and so forth. That most of them are still writing checks.
There are some. Yeah,
Yeah.
there really are some
Yeah.
that are still there. And one thing that I am so thankful for, I've seen nobody ask to revoke funds. So if they
Okay.
put this money in before this all started, they've said that's yours.
Yes.
We don't know what we're capable of next year.
Right.
But they're there. So there is sponsorship dollars coming in. I think, like you're saying, since that's usually the underwriting for events,
Yeah.
that's causing some stress.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same as it used to be, but it's not to say it's gone.
Yeah, okay. So are you doing something new? what's new is old again, or what's old is new
know,
again.
right? So-
You're, as I mentioned earlier, you got married, so you have a new last name.
Yep.
Simmons, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
you.
Yeah. But you've left some things that you've been doing the last, 6 months or a year or so, and you're redoing the events and something to do with food, which caught my attention. Of course.
There's a lot. There's been so much shifting. And one of the
Yeah.
things that's been hard for me, one of my biggest clients brought me in-house 2 years ago,
Okay.
just over 2 years, so WSU College of Medicine. And I feel like that has run its course, especially in this
Right.
climate. It's time to bet on myself. And when I give them a big chunk of my time, I can't rebuild what I'm doing.
Yes,
So
yes.
after our drive-through white coat ceremony next week here and in Everett, I'll be shifting. So I'm back to full-time Encore Events.
Drive-through, shifting,
Well,
I get
oh,
it.
I'm that
Okay.
good.
Okay.
No, but that was good. Thank you for catching that.
Great dad joke.
So that will be my last hurrah with the
Yeah.
college. And then I'll be rebranding Encore Events.
Okay.
You are your brand, and I'm
Yes.
getting some industry advice. Again, connecting to industry leaders. I'm part of this group called the Collective Creative. And she said, if your name is not in there and you've been in business for as long as you have, you're making a mistake.
Yes,
So
yes.
be doing events by Jennifer Evans and really just honing in on who we are and what we do.
Good.
So people can understand quickly. But when you take out commute time and not having to drive kids to activities, I got back into cooking. And I'm so happy when
Are
I
the
was...
kids happy?
They
at
are,
home? Okay.
yes. Even husband, who's now
Oh, yes.
jumped in on the whole thing. He's
fun.
a little crazy in the kitchen making his own videos now. But we're having such a great time. My daughter, my daughters are only 14 months apart. So when they were very little and their father spent most of his time in Seattle, I was losing my mind. So I got into a little side hustle and started doing cooking and kitchen tools. And here we are now, fast forward 19 years, and my daughter's getting her first apartment in Bellingham. She's going back to school at Western, and she needed to stock her kitchen. And I thought, well, I can buy stuff, or I can bring that side hustle back up. So I'm cooking and slinging kitchen tools and showing people how to make mealtime faster and easier.
What do you like to cook the most?
I'm mostly a plant-based diet, so a lot of Mexican foods, couscous and quinoa.
You brought samples, of course, right?
I should have.
Yeah.
Darn it.
Yeah, you should. I'm vegetarian, so
Oh, we have lots to talk about.
yeah.
Yeah, we have some fun, and that's one of the fun things too, is really getting people to realize. My dad, what did he used to say? Jack LaLanne. Somebody used to say, if it tastes good, spit it out. So my dad is my best test market to go, oh, stop it. Just because it's got plants and is healthy for you doesn't mean it doesn't taste bad. So I'm always trying to convert people there.
Yeah, totally.
I'm sure you know exactly what that
Yes.
feels like.
I married 53 years ago, a Seventh-day Adventist. So I came from a family that was all vegetarian and
Yeah.
so forth. My wife doesn't cook any pork things, but I love ribs. So I go out a lot at lunch and have ribs. Okay, and people laugh at me. I know where we're going, Kent. No, you don't. Yeah, we're going to go get ribs, but you don't know which place, But she will cook things and with meat and so forth. But she still has that in her blood a bit,
That's where my mom went to try and understand me better. She went to a Seventh-day Adventist
Yeah.
cooking class to learn how to
Yeah.
serve me some things I might enjoy.
Yeah, no, and it's a great way to learn, and it is healthier for you and all that.
Yeah.
Do I look like a terribly healthy person? Okay, we won't go there anymore. So, are you going to offer classes and things?
I will. In fact, we've got a class online right now. I reconnected with somebody who used to help me out with Encore, and she's an incredible mom of 2 small kids and was watching what I was doing. I said, hey, how about I put together a class online? So all week
fun.
I'm putting together, cooking with kids. What's age appropriate?
Yes, yes.
And then the reminders of where I messed up. It's kind of nice to go back and say, I was very impatient. I didn't like mistakes.
Yeah.
Expect that. And I think if I went in with the right expectations, I probably wouldn't have been so frustrated. So I'm excited to share that advice. I was a 5th grade teacher before I ever moved to Spokane.
Oh, really?
So that's kind of a fun thing too, is to pull
Okay.
that piece back
Boy, I
in.
learned more and more about you. Yeah, it's kind of fun, isn't it?
Yesterday was my Spokane anniversary. 23 years I've been here.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's see. I'm coming up in a month just about a month from now on my 44th year of being in Spokane.
Wow.
That's older than you.
I wish.
And we won't go there with you, kid. Okay. I'll let you get more questions.
Just one final question. I was wondering what made you go into events, and given everything that's going on, having to be online and put in the extra work and everything, like, do you ever have moments of doubt where you have to go back and kind of reflect, like, why did I even go into this?
Yes.
Well, there
yes.
goes the rest of the day.
I know. All of that, yes. So as a teacher, moved to Spokane, didn't have the right teaching things. Have you seen Steve Jobs' commencement address at Stanford? The piece that I love most is he says, you can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards in his journey. And then I went, that's what happened. I was a teacher. And then because I came here and I couldn't get straight into a classroom, I tried other things, and I was in sales for many years. And then I was part of a local networking site called Launchpad.
Yes.
Bill Kalivas and Alan Battle, the serial networkers of Spokane, taught me about how to build a strategic network. But they built a website that had 4,000 people. And yes, people do business with people they know, like, and trust, but you have to have that face-to-face piece. So
Yes.
I was attending their events, and it wasn't long before I asked the question that Bill said, be careful what you wish for. I said, if you ever need help, let me know. And he said, well, I do need help. And I called him the next week, and the long story short is I spent almost 2 years with them creating the events that brought everybody together.
Yes.
And we brought people together in small communities and big groups, and it was an incredible experience. When things started changing there, I made a shift. I went to Bozzy Media, and I planned events for Spokane Coeur d'Alene Living magazine. And that was incredible. That was just a playground where we could do just about anything in Spokane and have
Yes.
these huge audiences and elaborate, resources and budgets to do. Oh gosh, it was so fun, so many things. But I started getting questions about, can you give us advice, or can you tell us what to look for in an event person? And I had a business coach at the time who said, that's somebody, tapping you on the shoulder, pay attention.
Yes,
and
yes.
sure enough, the one right call from one right future client, it turned out. And I made that shift. That was, it'll be 8 years ago in November.
Yeah.
And it was hard. It was an uphill climb for a long time. And then it got to a place where I realized clients didn't want to move on without me. So I had a nice sustaining base. And then we tried on new things. We always did a little bit of nonprofit, but we started doing more corporate. I bought another business that didn't exactly work out, but that introduced me to people around the country. So we do events in New Jersey and Atlanta and Texas now, in California. I'm having events next week virtually, but in Albuquerque. So we're getting these resources that help us know people around the country. I got tired last year, really tired. And I started scaling back what I was planning this year. I started bringing in other contractors. In fact, you interviewed Mackenzie Richmond with Richmond Productions, and Mackenzie's been helping. Mm-hmm. And I thought, maybe I can finally phase out and do something else. And I was really looking that direction, and then all of this hit. Yeah. And in March, I was equally inspired and feeling, gosh, I'm going to miss the events business when I was leaving our industry conference. And then this hit, and passion set in, and I realized, no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And it doesn't take away the challenges, but there's something that I can do. And I've seen a lot of other event planners who are struggling so badly right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm completely blessed with amazing clients and a great network of people who will let me bring my expertise to the table and help them make the changes they need to and bring influence. So I'm not new. I've been around for a while, so it's easier for me to shift to all of these new standards and needs than for somebody who's still just trying to figure it out, I think. So y'all are stuck with me.
Well, and what I hear when I talk to people, your name comes up quite a bit and so forth from what you've done the last decade or so. And it's, if it isn't said out loud, it's said by what other things they're saying is, it gets done through you. There's the follow through, it's right, it's done. And people look for that, to know that if I'm going to hire someone to manage this, I want to know from A to Z it's going to be taken care of, and you've got the experience and all of that. So that makes a difference.
It means a lot. Events are really important, and I
Yes.
think,
Yes.
yeah, all
And-
the
and
perfectionism from my father
And as
paid off.
someone who's supported nonprofits over the years and been a nonprofit exec and fundraiser and everything else, more and more is coming from events, dollars these days than ever before. You know, I mean, I look at some organizations that are having 2 or 3 events a year that had nothing a decade or two ago. Okay, but they know if they can put on a fun event and all that goes with it, that people will step up and they'll be willing to spend a couple $100 to have some fun and know they're helping a cause, because there are a lot of good causes in Spokane and a lot of good nonprofits.
Definitely. And I think that's where the only thing I add to any of that, because of course I love events, I'll be the first to tell you if you shouldn't be doing it. You know, I want you to be effective, and that's where I really drive in with people. I may not throw the prettiest events. There are some incredible event planners here who will throw the most beautiful, luxurious events. I want results more than anything.
Yes.
So we may not have the best centerpieces, but I will push for that 6-figure fundraiser over anything else.
Yes.
So
yes, because you know what's going to happen because of that. It's going to help kids or family or cancer patients or whatever, and that's what it's all about when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's
Okay.
why your clients keep coming back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So you get the results.
So how can people get in touch with you? This is your time to tell people how to reach you.
Sure wish I started that rebrand a day earlier. You'll find out why. So we're Encore Events, LLC. It's all for the Encore.com. There are a lot of Encore events around the country. So Encore, all for the Encore.com.
Okay.
But you can look up Jennifer Evans, Spokane, and I.
Yeah, you're
Usually
there
pop up.
on the top list. I think it's under arrests or warrants or something. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, I'll get the call from Steph about this.
I was going to say,
but-
only with Stephanie Regalato's name right next to mine.
So, okay, I got to be careful. I don't want to come up against her. Okay, she's great too. She's transitioning too. Did you guys plan this together?
We have a very close friend group of about 4 of us.
Yes.
And 3 of us all walked off a cliff like Thelma and Louise.
Yeah.
Not planned. And we looked around and went, what just happened? So all of the majority of us, in fact, the 4th, not by choice, are all going through major life shifts going, so glad we have each other. But
Yes. Doesn't that help? I mean, that you can call, hey, I had a bad day. Cheer me up. I mean, really.
Yep.
I mean, it really does make a difference that you can call someone and, yeah, you guys are like sisters, like twins that were split apart. And, yeah, I know.
yeah, major life changes, but it's good to have somebody else remind you that you
Well,
have
we're
what
looking
it takes.
forward to all of the new things that are coming up from Jennifer
you.
Evans.
Thank
okay,
you.
I
I'm
think it's
excited.
great. All right, and thanks for coming today.
course.
The best of luck, and thanks for watching the Pulse of Spokane, everybody. And you survived.
I did.
You did.
Barely.
Okay,
Thank
barely.
you.
I even let you speak once or twice. I know that's hard, isn't it? I think she wants to, hit me under the table, like let me talk.
She's ready.
Yeah, she is ready. She's always been ready in here. She's great to have on our team. Thanks for watching the Pulse of Spokane, everybody. Have a great day.